Hi, I'm John Rice of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. This week, Barbara writes, John, I am considering selling my home, and in talking with one of my neighbors, their home went under contract quickly, pending, but did not end up selling for what the contract price was due to appraisal. Is that going to happen to me? Should I be concerned? Well, Barbara, this is a great question. And frankly, anytime we have a market that is as strong as it is today, here's a brief summary of what's going to happen. Your home may end up being the only home on the market on the street today, and was probably for sure the case for your neighbor. As a result, all these buyers have said, hey, it's the only thing available. I'm interested. I'm going to offer X over list price. And then another buyer says the same thing, another buyer says the same thing, and a bidding war happens. And now we're 15, 20% over list price. Well, how does the bank determine if that's an acceptable price they're going to loan on? That's the key. The bank cares about their interest in lending on this property, so they send out an appraiser. If it's a cash deal, you don't necessarily have to worry about it unless the buyer stipulated it has to appraise. But with a lending deal, part of the whole package is that the bank agrees with the number that the buyer and seller have agreed on. So let's put this in the real numbers. Let's say that you put your home on the market for $250,000, and in the end, after a little mini bidding war happens, your home is at $265,000. It's the only home on the market on your street, and there's been a few sales, but nothing like what's going on today. They weren't in a market that is as hot. Maybe it was even just a couple months ago. What the appraiser then has to do, what he is tasked by the bank to do, is come up with comparable sales that are similar to your home. He has to actually say, all right, this is Barbara's home. How does it compare to Jane Smith's home down the road and John Jones' houses down the road? Well, maybe yours is done up beautifully. It's really looking sharp. And maybe one of the other homes isn't. But the appraiser has to come up with a value for each one of those and try and equalize them to a point where he can put on paper and prove to the bank exactly how much this home is worth. The key, though, is he always has to look backwards in history. So if you are in the strongest market currently, historically the market wasn't as strong. The comps the appraiser is pulling from are from a market that wasn't as strong. As a result, it takes a couple of steps before it gets to a point where everyone's on equal playing field. For instance, when your neighbor's now closes, your home is going to end up in a much better situation because the appraiser is going to be able to use it as a comparable, most likely, in another hot market situation. And it is possible, with as fast as things are appreciating, that your home will sell at or above your neighbor's property, depending on when you're looking at putting it on the market, and the price and condition, size, all those other factors. But that said, appraisals are an issue to a degree. The National Association of Realtors just came out with some statistics that say 19% of sales are slowed down because of an appraisal issue. They have to work through them. And 11% of sales don't actually end up closing at all because of appraisal issues. Now, I'll take that and reverse it. And what I want you to remember is 89%, almost 90% of deals do not have an issue as far as closing with appraisals. That's the key part. 1 out of 10, I'll take those odds. The other key part is when you go to list it, when working with a team that knows how to analyze the comparables and price it correctly to both assess the market and what a buyer's going to be willing to pay, and also set up the right expectations with you as to what an appraiser might say or what a bank might be willing to lend on that property, is also an important part of the equation. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you have any further questions about this or any other future questions, please feel free to contact me, and I would be happy to help you out. John Rice with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Make it a great week.